top. How the fuck about that, Panther fans? It finally let me go live. Well, we had a preseason game, the debut of one Shadur Sanders, infamous son of Dion, and the Panthers also participated. Now, I will say, first string offense looked okay. Now, they were playing basically against the second string defense on Gonorrheaville. So it wasn't like, you know, they really had to worry about Miles Garrett or, some of the other starters disrupting the offense. So they took the ball down, they scored on the second set of second series, and then the defense came out and actually did pretty well. The first string defense did pretty well. They were shutting down the Browns. They were causing 3-and-outs. And then, well, they on the they forced a Bajorquez punt, and it got muffed. And it got muffed inside the 15. Scooped up and taken down, and that led to the first Shedeur Sanders touchdown pass to Cade. So now it's a tie ball game. And then with that momentum, he just seized control of the game and had two more good, strong touchdown drives. So then it was 14, then it ended up being 21-7. And at that point, the game was over. Uh, Andy Dalton and the offense really, really struggled. The team struggled as a whole. Penalties, muffed punts, you know, other things. With the way they looked, and again, it's not like you're playing the Kansas City fucking Chiefs, whose third stringers are better than your first stringers. Okay? You're not doing that. You're playing against a team that's going to be a 5, 6, 7 win team. And you look like shit. You got blown out 30-10 at home. Should have been 31-10, but, Dustin Hoffman showed up to kick that extra point instead of Dustin Hopkins. No, that joke never gets old. Anyway, Shedeur looked really good. This should have been, or should be, outside of the Hall of Fame, maybe even more than the Hall of Fame game. This should be the highest rated game because you finally got to see Shedeur Sanders play some actual football against another team. Now, everybody's making the big deal. Oh, he didn't get any first string reps. Well, you know what? No first stringers on offense played or played very little. Jerry Jeudy wasn't out there. A lot of guys weren't out there. It was second, third, fourth string guys. So these are the guys he practices with. Flourier, who caught that beautiful goddamn pass down the sideline, was the one that was staying after practice to work with Shedeur. So to think that, oh well, it wasn't that good. And well, these are the guys he practices with. He knows them. He knows them far better than anybody else on the team. And again, there's a big charisma factor with that kid. And he is on his way to becoming the king of fucking Ohio. He didn't have to show up to, to the community thing and do all that kind of stuff. He doesn't have to go to schools. He wants to. By the way, the first school he goes to is my dad's alma mater, John Marshall. My fucking dad went there in the 50s. Not for very long. He, you know, decided that there were other things besides school that were more important. But the point is, that's where he went to school. That's where his friends went to school. And he's been to other places, you know? He trained at a high school. He trained at another school and threw with the kids and talked to them. He's about the community. He's a community leader. He's not just a leader on the football field or with his football team. He's a leader in the community. Oh, well, he's just doing that for clicks and this and that and that. And that. No, he's not. And I'm sorry, Panther fans, for turning this into a Shador Loves Fest, but sorry, I'm a fucking I love this kid. I watched him at Jackson State. I watched him in fucking Colorado, and I watched him get shit on by the entire fucking league during the draft. Mel Kiper wasn't the only one having a goddamn fit fest over his lack of being picked by teams that need a quarterback. I can only imagine the impact that Shador would have with the Pittsburgh fucking community, which is just as depressed as the Cleveland community, if not, maybe not as bad, but still. And he's having an impact, and he's going to draw people from Columbus, from Canton, from Cincinnati. He's draw. They talked about Caitlin Clark, a marquee player. Well, Shador Sanders is a marquee player. As fixed, he hadn't played a live game since December. He didn't take part in your bowl, and some of these other fucking postseason bowl games and whatever, and he got shit on for it. Could fit the ball into that goddamn tiny little area on Cade Davis's first touchdown. That was about the size of the football. A mailbox is a dimensionally about the size of a fucking football. Same same diameter. And he threaded that motherfucker. The second touchdown, put the ball where only his guy could catch it, or was it going to be an incomplete pass? Took 2 sacks, showed good scrambling ability, which he showed in Colorado if you watched the fucking games. And they're putting all this shit on Dylan Gabriel the way that they did with Roadkill. Oh, well, he knows the answers to the test before they're asked. Well, what the fuck does that have to do with being able to fucking put points on the board? Play down of professional football. Shador is prepared for the National Football League. He's playing with 2s, 3s, and 4s and fucking putting points on the board. They don't have Quinshawn Judkins. Dylan wasn't out there. They were playing with 2, 3, and 4, and 5 running backs. They had a guy that they just picked up like 2 weeks ago playing meaningful fucking downs. Because in the preseason, despite all of the, well, what do we need a preseason for? Well, guess what? You need the fucking preseason so that those guys, you can fill out your fucking backup roster. You can fill up and figure out what you want to do with your practice squad. Because they want to keep adding goddamn games. Oh, well, we need an 18-game season. No, you should trim it down to 14. Let's not have the fucking season go into fucking March. There's no point to that. Other than you want to wreck human beings. Now, the Panthers are in for a very, very, very long season. They made too many mistakes. They made too many mental mistakes. Pre-snap, post-snap, they left guys wide open. Bates was wide the fuck open. Number 82 might as well have been fucking, Ozzy goddamn Newsome running free in the defense. So, let's give some credit to Stefanski and his group. They came out and looked much, much sharper. They didn't have the pre-snap. They didn't have as many pre-snap penalties. They didn't have as many holding penalties. They didn't have as many mental errors. The tackles weren't going Olay and letting Andy Dalton fucking get wrecked. So uh, there's a lot to work on, and hopefully a lot of stuff gets cleaned up. Hopefully, let's uh, let Roadkill have like a full quarter or a quarter and a half of actual football in each of these next 2 games, because you need the first stringers to tighten up their shit. You need the second stringers to tighten, or second and third stringers to really tighten up their shit, because that's where the bulk of the mistakes were coming from. So Jimmy Horn got a few extra touches. Um, didn't really do as much, but, you know, within the flow of the offense. And when there is no flow, nobody doesn't do anything, you know? When you take a fucking bad sack on third down, not much you can do. So we'll see what happens next game. And who do they play? Let me pull up their schedule and see who they play. Oh, they're on the road with the Houston fucking Texans, so they're going to see another goddamn good quarterback, CJ Stroud. And that's on the 16th. Luckily, that's going to be an early game, so we'll see. Maybe I might do a post game then, so you get a real reaction to whatever I see. But yeah, it wasn't the first string offense did okay. They put 7 points on the board. They put the pressure on. Unfortunately, they folded like a fucking $2 tent in a hurricane. But that's the way it goes. I think that's going to be about it. So, all right, gang. Let's hope for a better outcome against the Texans, but I'm not optimistic. We'll see what happens with injuries, and uh, another joint practice session should be coming up. So we'll see how that all shakes out. Keep updated with all the other Panther channels, especially Locked On Panthers. Julian does a really nice job of covering a lot of stuff. So keep pounding.